Hello dear followers of Red Stroy. My name is Lena. I'm 28 years old, married, and childless. I've been in this marriage for 4 years now, and to be honest, I feel stuck, emotionally, physically, spiritually. When I married Kevin, I was full of hope. We had passion, connection, the spark everyone talks about. But over the past 2 years, things have gone cold. We barely talk anymore. Sex? Maybe once a month, and even then it feels like a chore. He's either working, watching sports, or sleeping. I tried everything. Talking, dressing differently, suggesting we go on a trip. He always had an excuse. After a while, I stopped trying. I began to feel invisible. And then one day, his old college friend came to visit. His name is Ryan. Tall, tan, lean, and always smiling. He has this calm but playful energy about him, like someone who's seen a lot and doesn't get surprised by much. Kevin had told me about Ryan before, how he was a bit of a flirt back in the day, how they'd gotten into trouble together, how women always liked him. I wasn't expecting much. But the moment I opened the door and saw him standing there, something stirred in me. He hugged Kevin first. Then turned to me and said, "You must be Lena." "I've heard good things," he added with a smirk. It wasn't what he said, it was how he said it. His eyes lingered. Not in a creepy way. Not overt. But enough to make me feel something I hadn't felt in a long time, seen. We had dinner that night. The 3 of us talked, laughed, drank a little wine. I didn't drink much, Kevin doesn't like it when I do. At one point, Kevin went to bed early. He said he was tired. Ryan and I stayed up, finishing the last of the wine. That's when I really saw him, sitting back, shirt slightly unbuttoned, sleeves rolled up, voice lower, more relaxed. He asked me, "Are you happy, Lena?" It wasn't flirty. It wasn't invasive. It was just honest. And I didn't know what to say. After that night, things started shifting, subtly but undeniably. The next morning at breakfast, Kevin scrolled through his phone while Ryan and I exchanged glances across the table. We didn't speak much, but the silence between us wasn't empty. It was loaded. That afternoon, Kevin had to leave for a work meeting across town. He told us he'd be gone for several hours. As soon as the door closed behind him, the silence between me and Ryan changed again. It wasn't awkward. It was expectant. I made coffee and sat on the couch, pretending to scroll through my phone. Ryan came and sat next to me, not close enough to touch, but close enough that I could feel the heat of his body. He leaned back, looked at me, and said, "You always look this good when you're doing nothing?" I smirked, blushing, not from the words, but from the way he said them, low, playful, unforced. "You trying to get me in trouble?" I asked. His smile shifted, softened. "I think you've been in trouble for a long time, Lena. You just didn't call it that." His words landed harder than I expected. I looked away. He didn't push. A few minutes passed. Then he reached out and gently tucked a loose strand of hair behind my ear. I froze. Not because I didn't want it, because I did. I looked back at him. And for a few seconds, we just stared at each other. Everything around us faded. And then he kissed me. It was soft at first. Barely a kiss. A test. A whisper. But when I didn't pull away, when I kissed him back, it deepened instantly. His hand slid to my neck, his thumb tracing my jawline. I leaned into him. The heat between us flared like a match struck in darkness. Then my phone buzzed. Kevin. A message, be back around 6. Everything okay? I pulled away quickly, breathless. Ryan gave me space. He didn't push. He just looked at me and said, "Do what you need to do. But don't lie to yourself." That night, Kevin was home but distracted, on his laptop, making phone calls, checking files. He barely looked up at dinner. I don't even remember what we ate. Ryan kept things casual. He chatted with Kevin, cracked jokes, didn't make me feel awkward. But his eyes, every time Kevin wasn't looking, they found me. And I found them. Later that evening, Kevin said he was exhausted and turned in early. "Long day tomorrow," he mumbled, kissing my cheek without even really looking at me. I nodded. He disappeared into the bedroom. The door clicked shut. Ryan and I were alone again. No excuses. No interruptions. I stood in the kitchen, rinsing out a glass I hadn't even used, just to do something with my hands. He walked in and leaned against the counter. "I didn't plan this," he said. "I know," I whispered. "I don't want to mess up your life." I turned to him. "You think this is a life?" I asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he stepped closer. This time, I didn't wait. I kissed him. Harder than before. With all the frustration, the ache, the loneliness I'd swallowed for months. He pulled me to him, one hand on my lower back, the other in my hair. The kitchen counter pressed against me as our bodies collided. I couldn't breathe, but I didn't care. He lifted me up onto the counter like I weighed nothing. His hands explored my back, my thighs, my waist. I tugged at his shirt, pulling it over his head. His skin was warm, his body lean and solid. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't doubting. I was finally feeling. We didn't make it to the bedroom. Right there in the kitchen, barefoot, half-dressed, breathless, we gave in. He made me feel wanted. Present. Real. Every touch, every movement, was deliberate, like he was learning me. And I was learning how much I had missed this version of myself. I woke up in my own bed. Ryan was gone, his door closed, no sign of the night before except the echo of everything we'd done. Kevin was still sleeping beside me, snoring softly, one hand curled under his pillow. I stared at the ceiling for what felt like hours. I didn't feel shame. I didn't feel guilt. I felt awake. For months, maybe years, I'd been walking through my life like a ghost. Going through the motions. Smiling at the right times. Saying I'm fine when I wasn't. But now? Now I remembered what it felt like to be touched with intention. To be seen. To be wanted. I got out of bed and walked to the kitchen. Ryan was there, already dressed, sipping coffee like nothing had happened. But when our eyes met, everything passed between us, wordlessly. I walked up to him. "I don't know what comes next," I said. He nodded. "Maybe nothing," he said. Maybe everything. We didn't hug. We didn't make plans. But before Kevin came in, Ryan leaned down and whispered, I hope you don't forget what you felt. I didn't answer. Because I wouldn't forget. Not ever. Yes, friends, every confession tells a different story. Sometimes it's not about falling in love. Sometimes it's about finally remembering who you are. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. See you in the next one.